This is the International AQA certificate on respiration. So far we know from our 7 life processes that respiration is one of the crucial ones. All living things do it, plants, animals. It has to happen because the crucial thing is it provides energy for all living cells to carry out all of these 7 living processes that you should already be familiar with. The purpose of respiration, as we said, is to provide energy, and to do that it requires glucose. You need to know the equation for respiration, and it starts with glucose using oxygen to produce energy as your useful outcome, plus waste products, carbon dioxide and water. Respiration comes in 2 forms, either aerobic or anaerobic. We're going to start by focusing on aerobic respiration. This crucially uses oxygen. The purpose of respiration is to provide us with energy. Every living cell has to carry out respiration because it needs energy for a whole range of life processes. Energy therefore must be your useful outcome, and with any chemical reaction taking place in the body there are going to be waste products. These waste products are going to be carbon dioxide and water. There's therefore a very simple chemical equation that we can write that goes with this, and you need to know both the word equation and the written chemical equation. And so the word equation for aerobic respiration is glucose, which is obtained as animals by eating, or as plants by carrying out photosynthesis, plus oxygen, which is obviously obtained through breathing if you're a large animal, or by diffusion into the cells if you're smaller, and obviously plants take it in through their stomata by diffusion. This produces energy as our useful product, and we've also got the waste product, carbon dioxide and water. You should know the chemical equation that goes with this. Glucose carries the formula C6H12O6, it's a carbohydrate, plus the oxygen, 6O2, we're going to put the 6 in because we're going to balance it, going to carbon dioxide, 6CO2, plus the water, 6O2. The energy can be written in the form of ATP. Some of the uses of respiration and the energy that comes from the process is protein synthesis, so making new proteins to build new tissues, growth, development, repair, active transport, which you should know about from your foundation topic to do with movement of molecules, diffusion, osmosis and active transport. This is an active process requiring energy so that the molecules can be pumped through protein channels against the concentration gradient. We're going to have a look in more detail at where aerobic respiration takes place. And you should hopefully know that respiration takes place in 2 stages. Firstly, in the cytoplasm of the cell, but also predominantly in the mitochondria of the cell, often known as the power stations of the cell because they're providing the energy for the cell to be able to do their work. The provision that aerobic respiration can take place is that there is sufficient glucose and sufficient oxygen for it to happen. If either of those runs out, aerobic respiration will have to stop. And usually the first one to run out is oxygen. And as a result of the lack of oxygen, cells can no longer carry out aerobic respiration and they carry out anaerobic respiration instead. Much the same process continues. You use glucose to produce energy. However, without oxygen in place, glucose is burnt inefficiently, and you end up, in animals, producing lactic acid. The result of anaerobic respiration is that you get much less energy. In plants, anaerobic respiration can still take place, but as a result, instead of getting lactic acid, ethanol is formed, as well as the energy to provide the energy for life processes to take place. So, concentrating in animals on anaerobic respiration, if insufficient oxygen is present, we end up with lactic acid, and therefore the only way this can be got rid of is by breathing more. The lactic acid can then be reconverted so that it can then be broken down and respired in the normal manner, so it can be got rid of as carbon dioxide and water. In order to do that, we need to supply more oxygen by breathing more, so this excess oxygen that has to be provided to get rid of the lactic acid is called an oxygen debt. In your class set of notes, right at the very end, you will see some examples of graphs showing a fit person and unfit person and their heart rates having carried out some exercise. It's a requirement that you are able to interpret these graphs and explain all the changes that take place. You'll need to use your knowledge of aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration linking into the oxygen debt in order to do that. You should now refer back to your notes and the exercises there that are written there to help you complete those tasks.